Alright, hello, my name is Pena. This is an investment analysis. We'll be looking at the oil and defense industry.
It didn't go.
Alright, companies in the oil we'll be looking at is ExxonMobil, Phillips 66, BP, Shell, and Valero. Okay, first we're looking at ExxonMobil. Problem mainly with ExxonMobil is the liquidity. Firms in the other oil industry have better liquidity. Middle of the road financial leverage. It looks like they can afford a debt mainly in 2014, 2015. Have a bad year in 2016. They get back in 2017 and 2018. Okay, this is what we're just looking at. ROE 18.67 in 2014. Falls each year after that. Good sign though is that ROA and PM are the drivers of it. You see equity multiplier fall from 1.99 to 1.97. It goes 9.36 to 4.64. So not much change here, but drastic change in ROA and profit margin, which is what takes from 9 to 4. But these numbers aren't good enough. Okay. Positive here, you see dividends increase each year for 2014 to 2018. Great PE, 2015, drops again in 2018 at 13.84. But the real issue here is EVA, negative from 2015 to 2018. And that's the main kicker, is the ROE isn't strong enough for Exxon and EVA negative for the past 4 years. Okay, next we have is BP. Better liquidity than ExxonMobil, but as you can see, they increased their financial leverage, but they can't afford it. 2015 to 2016, when these levels aren't low, they're negative, which is a really poor sign, which will affect their liquidity. All right. Now this is the worst part for BP. See a really low ROE throughout the board, and then negatives in 2015 and 2016, negative 6.22, only 0.212 in 2016. Paid a lot of taxes in 2016. 2016 actually is the year where they paid the lawsuit for their spill in 2010. Poor profit margins, poor ROA, which is what's causing their ROE to be so low. Okay. Next we have a Shell. About the same liquidity as the two companies we saw prior. Same financial leverage as Exxon, less than Shell. Excuse me, less than BP. 2015, they couldn't really afford their debt, negative 3.28, that's a bad sign. Small amounts in the next few years, not a great sign. So similar to Exxon, they have the right things driving ROE. You see ROA and profit margin and asset turnover in 2016 to 2017 all increase, while financial leverage stays the same. And actually they pay more in taxes, so that also isn't affecting it. So those are the right things we want to look for, but it's just their numbers for ROE and their margins and their ROA is just not strong enough compared to the other firms in this industry that we're going to talk about upcoming. Oh, brother, buddy. Okay, yeah, we had that in the video. No. Very poor sign here. We see Very poor sign here. We see dividends 1.8 stay the entire time from the study period 2014 to 2018. And EVA negative from each year 2014 to 2018. Okay. Next we have is Valero. Better liquidity than the firms we saw prior. Better time interest earned, but it's still a little bit average. Decent equity multiplier. Not too much, not too little. Okay, the best ROE we've seen compared to the prior firms. Good sign, ROA and profit margin are driving it. Instead of equity multiplier, you see in 2017 and 2018, you see these two numbers drop 8.44, 6.22, 4.6 to 2.8, while leverage stays the same, 2.29 to 2.3. But their ROA and profit margin are very volatile. You see 7.8, it goes up, down each year. Not a good sign. I mean, it's good that it's driving it and that leverages it, but you kind of want to see it increase the past few years or stay a little bit level, not see it go up and down and just kind of guess, well, is this one going to be a good year for them or is it going to be a bad year for them? Okay. PE, volatile also. You see it increase a few years and then go back down in 2018. Dividends, strong sign from 2014 to 2018. You see them increase each year. EVA, not as strong as the next company we'll see. You see it even negative in 2016 and 2017. But better, much better than the firms we saw prior, which is why I have them ranked in front of them. But the difference between this firm and the firm we're going to be talking about in the next slide is that they both have better numbers than the firms prior, but the next one just has a little bit better. Next we have is Phillips, PSX. Better liquidity than the first three firms we saw, but about the same as the one prior. Average financial leverage, not too much, not too little. And it looks like although time interest earned is positive, it's still very low. Okay, this is where they compete compared to the firms prior. Asset turnover very high from 2014 to 2018 relative to the firms prior. Paid a lot of, didn't pay many taxes in 2017, but you see in 2017 2018, you see you see them pay a lot more taxes in 2018, but you see profit margin dip a little bit, leverage actually falls, but ROA increases, and that is what drives the increase from 2017 to 2018, as well as asset turnover, which is positive. That's what you would like to see. Okay. All right, very positive here. Dividends increased 1.89 in 2014, each year all the way to 3.1 in 2018, and pretty cheap in 2018. PE of just 7.5. EVA negative in years 2015 and 2017. Positive in 2018. So overall, Phillips is my choice out of the oil industry. I like that asset turnover, profit margin, ROA are the main reasons for the ROE. ROE is stronger than the other firms in the oil industry. They've got some positive, both positive years in EVA, where we saw firms prior that they were negative the entire board on EVA, and dividends increase each year. PE is 7.5. All right, next we have the defense industry. All right, here we have substantial amounts of ROE from 2015 to 2018, driven primarily by their high leverage. You see 142.85 and then 168.19 in 2017 and 2018. This makes Lockheed Martin way too risky. You see the profit margin, ROA, decrease from 2016 to 2017. But their equity multiplier 21, drastic change 142, and that's what boosts their ROA. Not great liquidity here compared to the firms we'll see soon. Time interest earned, average amount but positive. And the main issue I have with Lockheed Martin is their financial leverage. We're going to talk about that in the next slide. All right, positive. We see PE ratio from 2014 and 2017 increased from 19.34 to 24.55, and then dipped to 14.43 in 2018. EVA, after a little negative spell in 2014, increases each year, 2015, 2016, peaks in 2017 at 9,000. Positive, and then drops down to 3,000 in 2018. Positive note here, we see dividends from 5.49 all the way to 8.2 in 2018. So that looks great, but again, as I said before, the problem I have with Lockheed is entirely too risky due to that high amount of leverage they have. All right, next we have is base systems. Average to poor liquidity from 2014 to 2018. They do increase it though, from 0.74 to 1.03. That's positive. Not a good sign though here in 2016 and 2017. You see debt equity from 127 dropped to 85.87. So they don't have as much debt there, but you see their time interest earned actually falls when that happens, where it should increase. Okay. Much higher ROE in the defense industry than oil industry in the companies that we looked at, but bad. It's a downward trend for 2016 and 2018. You see 28, 20, and then 19 after a high number of 38. This is the concerning part. You see ROA, profit margin increase, asset turnover drops a little bit. They pay less in taxes, they pay less in interest. So all these numbers should increase ROE. But the fact that equity multiplier drops from 5.65 to 4.66 shows that that's what it has the most effect on ROE, which is poor to see. You want to see these three driving it. Okay, bad sign here. You see dividends stay sticky from 2014 to 2016, barely increased in 2017 and 2018 to 0.22. Not a good sign there. EVA volatile, negative 1 year, positive the next year, down, up, and then down again. So those two things combined is why I do not like base systems. Okay, next we have Northrop Grumman. Better liquidity than the firms we saw prior. Average time interest earned. In 2018, you actually see them borrow less, but they aren't able to afford it as much, which is a discouraging sign. Okay. Much better ROE than the companies we saw. You see them increase from 2014 to 2017, 23, all the way to 46. You see most of the ratios drop in 2018. All the ones up, they do pay more. They do pay less in taxes. Besides that, the rest of them, they drop. But the percentage change in ROA, profit margin, and asset turnover are less than the change in equity multiplier from 4.9 to 4.75, which shows you that's will weigh heavier than these three. Okay, they increase EVA from 2014 to 2016. Hold it down here in 2017, bring it back up to 739.1 in 2018. P ratio of just 11.48 in 2018, so it's relatively inexpensive. Dividends increase, best sign here, increase from 2014 to 2.7 all the way in just 5 years to 4.7. That's looking good. But not as great EVA as the next two companies we'll see, and as well as ROE. And let's go to the next slide. We're going to go look at Raytheon. All right, here we have Raytheon. You see better liquidity here, but their current ratio in 2015 will decrease all the way from 1.79 in 2014 to 2018. So that's a negative sign. You see their debt, they actually borrow more, and they're able to afford it more. Financial leverage, it's much lower than what the norm is in the industry of defense. So let's move on. Let's look at their ROE. All right. ROE stays roughly about the same from 2014 to 2017. Bad years in 2015 to 2017, you see each ratio as well as ROE either drop or stay about the same. Now in 2017 to 2018, you see financial leverage drop 3.04 to 2.96, but you see ROA, profit margin, asset turnover. Three things you want to see: increase, and that was what boosts their ROA. But bad years in these chunk from 2015 to 2017, they pick it up in 2018. Why I like Raytheon is because they're not as risky as the other firms in the defense industry, and what's driving it, ROA, profit margin, and asset turnover. But I need to see a little bit more than just 1 year to choose them, because these 3 years, I need to see a little bit more consistency than that. Now, next slide, we're going to look at their market value. Okay, very positive. You see dividends in 2014 to go from 2.42 all the way to 3.47 in 2018. So looking nice there. Relatively cheap in 2018, 14.01. EVA, 2016 to 2018, high number, positive relative to the other firms we saw, 2.539. So they're investing into positive net value projects, and they're getting their value return. So these are all good numbers, but the next company we're going to look at just has a little bit better, and that company is General Dynamics. All right, here we have General Dynamics. I'm going to delve into why they were my choice as the best. You see better liquidity, A little volatile, then it'll go down and up. But overall, better liquidity than we saw in the firms prior, including the oil industry. Financial leverage is much lower than what the industry is usually used to. But it does increase from 2014 to 2018 each year. It does increase. But what I like most about this is their time measured earn is nearly double or triple of the amounts we saw the other firms have. You see them, they take on more debt, but they can afford it. You see 43.83, 37, 36, high numbers. So let's move on to ROE decomposition. I'll talk a little bit more about time measured earn. All right, here we have ROE decomposition. You see it increased from 19.24 all the way to 28.88 in 5 years. Asset turnover better than its peers. 0.9 pretty much across the board. But in 2016, 2017, I'm able to keep, while financial leverage only moves up a fraction of a point, interest burden and tax burden are held constant. They stay about the same. But you see ROA and profit margin increase 7.89 to 8.54 and 8.42 to 9.4, showing you as these are held constant, these increase a lot, much more of a fraction than these do, and that is what increases ROE 24.45 to 26.79. And now let's look at their market value. All right, here we see in 2014 dividends go from 2.48 all the way to 3.72 in 2018. Relatively expensive, 13.77 in 2018 compared to 2016, 19.98. Then you gain a little bit more, 3.72 compared to 3.04. Positive EVA, much more so than its peers. Although in 2015 and 2017, you have high numbers of 19, 20, 1 to 19, but it does drop to 12. But the reason I mainly chose General Dynamics is because their time interest earned was so much more than its peers, double or triple in fact, that I believe that they can take on more debt to increase their ROE and just not have their time interest earned as astronomical, because as it have to be, they can have a little bit less than that while still boosting ROE and having more value to shareholders. Now, next few slides, we're going to take a deeper dive into General Dynamics. All right, revenue breakdown of General Dynamics. Primarily in aerospace and defense, 77.15. Just a little fraction amount in IT services, you see it at 23.49. Okay, here we have General Dynamics stock price. Performance over 5 years compared to the market. You see it follows overall. You probably see a dip here, rise here. It seems to follow the market as each level, which is good. Okay, here I'm going to run General Dynamics through a few tests. Has the company performed consistently? Yes. The 5-year average ROE, 25.74. It's better than its peers, and it's mainly driven by ROA and profit margin, which is what you like to see. Has the company avoided excess debt? Yeah, middle of the road debt ratio compared to the peers, because the industry usually has a higher, they usually borrow much more than oil industry that we saw prior, and it can't afford its debt because it's got a high interest earn. Much higher than its peers, double, triple in fact. Okay, so can managers convert sales to profits? They have a 5-year average profit margin of 9.21, which is better than the industry average of 7.68. Does the firm pay dividends? Yes, they increased dividends each of the last 5 years. Is there room to increase those dividends? Their 5-year average payout ratio is 34.24, which is better than the 50%, which is a benchmark I'm using. So they're paying out much less because they're taking what they earn and putting it back into projects which will create value for shareholders, which is what you like to see. Stock is currently undervalued. The PE ratio is only 13. All right, here's 5-year average ratios of General Dynamics compared to the industry average. You see profit margin, operating margin, ROA. You see much better than it better than the industry average. ROE 25.74 compared to the industry average of 41.89. But Lockheed's excessive borrowing inflates this number. Return on invested capital 13.46, also better than the industry average of 2.3. That's very good. And payout ratio 34.24, much less than the industry average of 51.72. All right, here we have a peer analysis. 5-year average ROE, General Dynamics. You see 25.74. Matches up well, beats Raytheon Bay. Lockheed Martin has an inflated number, and that's due to their high equity, financial leverage. And I've already deemed this company as too risky because of that high leverage. And then next we have ROA. General Dynamics typically beats or stays on point. See 8.4 beats Raytheon Bay. Lockheed 8.5. Northrop Grumman 8.42. Profit margin 9.21. Better than peers of Lockheed and Bay. Northrop Grumman has a beat by 9.66 to 9.21. But the difference between General Dynamics and Northrop Grumman is General Dynamics has a better capacity to take on more debt, and it was more consistent the past 3 to 4 years. Next, we're going to look at the historical target price that they've matched it over the last 5 years. All right, here's General Dynamics' historical target price for each last 5 years and what they closed at the end of the year. You see the last 4 of the last 5 years, they actually beat their target. They don't in 2015 or by a small margin, but in 2016 to 2018, you see them beat it by 172.66, 203.45, 1.57.2. So you see them beat their target past 3 years and overall 4 of the last 5. Okay, so here I've estimated the target price 2020 and 2021 using the expected EPS and the estimated PE ratio to multiply, and then get the target price 180.38 and also silver number 180.43 in 2021. Okay, so we run General Dynamics through a number of tests and see that they perform better than the industry average in most categories. And so my recommendation is for General Dynamics to take on a little bit more debt because their time to earn was so strong. Knock that down a little bit, take on a little bit more leverage to boost their ROE. That's my recommendation, and that's why I think General Dynamics is the best company.